beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Everywhere I could have ended up just like that broken road, with a dead end in my path. Thank the Lord that I've got more than that. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I won't forget the lessons that I don't deserve.
Good morning, Robertson County. This is 1100 WSG. I'm Utah Laverne. Ridgetop Ramblers singing us in. I'm going to just keep reminding you that Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival will be coming up third weekend in May. I will be there, hopefully for the entire thing, but there's drama, not drama, but trying to schedule a little girl's birthday, third birthday. My granddaughter will turn 3 on that Thursday before, so I'll be there, but I may have to pop out for a little birthday party. You know how that goes, but it's going to be a good time. That's where this whole idea for One Street Over got started, was at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. So put it on your calendar, save the date, third weekend in May. And where are we at in our Bible reading? We're in Exodus. We finished Genesis a couple of days ago, and we are 3, 4, and 5 in Exodus, chapters 3, 4, and 5. In Exodus, let me check myself. No, actually, we're at 4 through, hang on. I'm looking at the wrong page. Okay. I always have to look at my page here. We're way past that. What am I doing here? Today is the 26th. Okay. So the 26th were 7 through 9. There we go. Now I got it straight. I'm somewhere in there. I'm a little behind, but not too bad. But Exodus 7 through 9 are our scriptures. I think I forgot to give them yesterday. Exodus 7 through 9. That's where we are today. It's the 26th and Psalms 19. So if you get through Exodus 9 through Psalms 1 through 19, you're going to be up to date. But just work with us on this. This is a cool thing. I'm very excited to be doing this. And I don't know, it's one of those things that it's just kind of opening. You just before you go into the Word, just pray, hey God, show me something new. And he does very, very often give you something new if you'll take a minute and just be still, get into the Word, and see what it'll teach you that day. And if you want some devotionals and things, reach out to Rachel Culver up at Bethlehem Baptist Church. She's putting up fabulous devotionals and in-depth looks at these scriptures we're reading. And I kind of like to read her observations before I read the scripture so I can kind of know what to look for, because I'll find myself kind of going back to it. But invite you to join us as we read through the Bible this year, and part of what we're doing here at 1100 WSGI. Also, what we're doing is we're very intentionally looking at Robertson County sports. Mr. Jamie Nixon, God bless you. You're a busy man, and it's whenever we were, hey, let's do this once a week, and I can see it in your eyes. Some days you're like, man, I need to be somewhere else. I see you were working late on something last night, and you're like, oh, I needed a little more sleep, and it just didn't happen.
Yep.
It's hard when you get, and you're doing this. He's volunteering to do this, guys. Help him out.
Yep.
Come on, and let's hear from the other schools, and we want to bring some folks in so he doesn't have to hit this every week of his free time. And the first Monday of the month, we're hoping Blaine is going to continue to come in, but he's gotten some new stuff going on. So, it's just a lot going on, but we want to keep up to date on what's going on in sports. And
they can send me information. I mean, I'm still, it'd be great if one of the other schools would take one of the Thursdays, and you could focus on your school and things like that. But
that would be great.
Yeah, I leave here and I have a meeting in Hendersonville at 8:00. So,
oh, blast!
So I go from one side of Robertson County to the middle of Robertson County to basically the middle of Sumner County.
That's about an hour drive, brother.
It's all right. It'll be fun.
You'll be all right. All right. Well, we'll get you out. If you need to leave a little bit early, we'll let you do that. And we'll see if we can. Okay, Brian and Tiffany, if you're out there, come on in. But when you need to leave, you go, because I don't want you to mess up your meeting. I
figured we could just save your ad for later in the show.
There you go. Yeah. Absolutely. I'll do that. I'll save all the ads. We won't take another break. But I do have to just applaud my wrestlers from Greenbrier, district champions. So proud of them. And I'm trying so hard. I know we've got the coming home thing going on at Greenbrier, and I know they're like Miss Vivio. We're having a king, and we're having a big pep rally today. That's I got my shirt on, and there's just so much going on. I'm just still trying to learn to teach, and so it's very hard for me to get too involved in all the extracurricular stuff, because I could have stayed up very late last night working on stuff for school. And I finally just went to bed. So. Well,
I was wrong on one of those names. Actually, one of the names, a senior for Greenbrier, J.T. McGlinchey.
Okay.
Yeah, he won his match, and of course, you guys are now district champions over the region. But McGlinchey is actually one of the players that has a very promising baseball career there out of Greenbrier. And we actually have a lot of baseball kids. And soon we'll be able to report on some softball, but baseball and softball, soccer, it's all right around the corner. Was there at East Robertson last night, and the soccer team was working out. Baseball teams and softball teams been working out, even in this what I would call little chillier than normal weather for baseball season. Mm-hmm. But it just seems like baseball starts sooner and sooner every year. I think now they'll start practicing probably on the day after Christmas.
It's like, gotta get out there, boys. Come on. Boys and girls, baseball and softball. I've seen the soccer team out. There's a few of the kids I know on the soccer team. And so I'm excited to see them get out there and get going. And Miss Howard, she's one of our coaches. And so that's been a lot of fun to watch. And so we're excited about that. But I'm super excited for wrestling, because I know two of the young men one of them's in my homeroom, Aiden Edwards, and then I've got Melvis Lopez. It's in my audio video classes. So those are the two I know, and really got to see the match that they did the other day during school, and it was so exciting to see them get so excited about everything. And but it's good. So, do you have any idea when their match will be again? I kind of think it's tonight, maybe.
I think it's actually will be tonight. Is Thursday. They move on. I know they move on very quickly. Mm-hmm. And they try not to have it conflict as much as they can with other sports,
right?
So they can try to get as many people out as they can. Mm-hmm. With them wrestling last night, I think they get a day break.
Okay.
So I think they actually might either wrestle Friday tomorrow or Saturday.
Okay. But Dr. Osborne told us at the staff meeting yesterday, and I should have written it down, and I did not. But if anybody knows that schedule, put it up in our comments. I do know we have our coming home, our big basketball homecoming that's happening either tonight or tomorrow night. I know we're doing the pep rally today, so maybe it's tonight. I'm terrible, y'all. I'm trying. But I need to make myself some notes. So if you have that schedule, please put that up. Maybe I'll pull that up on Greenbrier's schedule while you're talking about other things. So what all do you have going on otherwise that you want to talk about today, sir?
Well, I do want to talk about one thing. I just put it down there in the comments
Okay.
in the section is the Blaine had written a article about Heritage's baseball field. Well, Heritage's baseball field just won an award.
Yeah.
And that's pretty exciting. The reason why it's pretty exciting is because Mr. Rich Lopez, who has been in here before with us, they sometimes call the Heritage Field the fifth Lopez kid because he spends so much time with it. And so hats off to Rich. And I posted that article down there. Blaine wrote an article about it last year. They call it the Dent. And Rich basically says if there's something out there to try, we've probably tried it in order to make that field look really good. But it's a great award. I'm trying to pull it up right here so I can get the credentials or the actual award name of it. It was here in my notes, and now I can't find it. But yeah, hats off to Heritage. Here it is. White House Heritage wins the TBCA's Class AA Field of the Year. And so yeah, that's when it comes to those fields, I mean, those guys love their fields. They love for other teams to walk out and kind of look around, and they'll touch it, they'll rub their feet through it. It's just the way it feels, and other coaches take a lot of pride in that. And I know Rich is a personal friend of mine, and yes, he spends a lot of time, and he is a volunteer. He has a full-time job at Verizon, and a lot of people don't know this, and I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to say this, but I'm going to say it anyways. A lot of people don't know that the other day Rich announced that he was starting a new position at Verizon. He's been at Verizon, I don't know, 20 plus years, I think. And everybody was saying, congratulations on your promotion. Congratulations on your promotion. And he wasn't promoted. He demoted himself so that he could have more time.
Oh, no.
For his family and for Heritage Baseball, yeah.
Oh, wow. And wow, that's something now. That's amazing.
Yeah, so
that's amazing.
It's, and I'm going to be honest, every school has one of those stories where somebody is very giving of their time, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to make the community better, the programs better, and whether it's all sports, whether it's just one sport. So if your school has one of those people, thank you goes a long way.
You bet.
It goes a super long way. So
yeah, Miss Grimes is one that's just kind of bouncing all over the place at ours, and we do the Renaissance things and all of those, and we got a big deal coming up, and so it's not sports, but it is because she's at everything. I don't think I've ever been anywhere that she was not there, and so I know she's pouring into the kids in that way, but I know there's so many others. That's just the one that just kind of pops out and you can't miss when you're new, and you're like, okay, she's all over the place. But I know there's so many in the sports world, and so many. We need to hear from you on your school and the people that are like that, that are just giving of themselves again and again and again and pouring in. And while you were talking about Rich, I looked up and saw that the wrestling regionals is tonight.
Oh, it is tonight.
It's
okay.
tonight, so I guess our coming home is tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the game is tomorrow night, and so for basketball. So wrestling tonight, going into the regionals, and then tomorrow night, then you have our coming home. So that's the Greenbrier update, and I think I'm pretty accurate on that.
So Laverne, just that normally high school basketball games are Tuesdays and Fridays.
Okay.
They will occasionally play the Monday game or the Saturday game.
Okay.
But normally, because middle school is normally Mondays and Thursdays.
Oh, okay.
So you got middle school Monday, high school Tuesday, off on Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday. So just normally, that's not in stone. The only way, but I would say 95% of your games are going to be on Tuesdays or Friday nights in basketball.
Do they still kind of try to keep things off Wednesday night because it's church night?
They try to as much as possible. I do see some other sports that do some things on Wednesday nights. I know that we've had a couple. I know that Heritage has had a couple Wednesday night basketball games, which is kind of odd.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, we used to have a world where you didn't do anything on Sundays and you didn't do anything on Wednesdays, sports related. Mm-hmm. And and that changed probably 20 years ago. They started doing travel baseball tournaments, and you'd play on Friday night or Saturday. Then on Sunday you'd be up, and then soccer then creeped in a little bit. Well, now even with AAU basketball, 7-on-7 football, you find yourself playing on Sundays. Mm-hmm. So it's so much more important than parents to have your kids grounded, consistently as much as possible. That makes it so much more important for FCA, having those people like Jordan and Andrew and all the FCA huddle leaders. East Rumson Huddle's meeting this morning. Mm-hmm. Our athletic director, Carrie Hudgens, helps facilitate that out there. And it's just awesome to see what FCA is doing inside Robertson County. It's growing, and it's really strong. Once again, if that's something that you guys would love to donate to, we can definitely get you connected there. Jordan's looking forward to coming back. He's
fun.
He's actually at Greenbrier today. I don't know if he's at the middle school or the high school, but I talked to him last night, and he's subbing today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll see if he's at the high school then.
Yeah,
if you find out he is, message me, and I'll try to remember to look for him when I get there. Today would be a really good day because we're having the big pep rally for the coming home. So that would be a lot of fun.
Springfield's also district champions in wrestling. So yeah. So their classification. So they're definitely in a different classification than Greenbrier. My apologies for not knowing the classifications of our wrestling teams. Because, like in basketball, East Robertson is Class A, but then in football, we're Class AA.
Okay.
And whereas, like our district in basketball, we play Joe Burns, big game coming up Friday for our district. It's going to kind of decide what's going to happen in our district. Let's see, if East Robertson wins against Joe Burns tomorrow night, East Robertson is the district champion. If East Robertson was to lose, then it's a 3-way tie for first place.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know. I think it would actually come down to head-to-head competition. And then I might be wrong, but we were talking about this last night. There's a possible way it turns into a coin flip.
Oh, really?
Just to see. I know.
Don't you hate that?
Well, a 3-way coin flip, I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
I don't know very many 3-sided coins.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how that works. But what we're hoping is that, of course, me being a representative of East Robertson's, we go in and take care of business. Joe Burns is a tough team, though. Very well coached. They got some great athletes. They got some great basketball players. And it doesn't matter what you're playing. If you're playing chess and it's East Robertson and Joe Burns, it's a big-time tradition. It's a big-time rivalry, not just in this county, but in the state of Tennessee. It's one of the biggest rivalries, longest-running rivalries ever.
Mm-hmm. It's so funny because my husband, works with the transportation department and is the safety coordinator. So he's he's on all the buses. At some point, he'll have to fill in, go here, go there. And he talks about how the obvious rivalries you can kind of see within the schools and things like that. And so it's so funny how quickly you pick up on it. And it's just neat. And but it's fun. It's fun stuff. Mm-hmm. One of the best ways to see that displayed is at the pep rally that they have at the first of the year. Out on the downtown square. That's a hoot. That is fabulous. It's so much fun. It's so much excitement, and it gets you fired up for the year. It really does.
And kudos to Jordan Osborne and the Robertson County Chamber. Yeah, phenomenal team up there, and they put all that together. And it's been fun for us to be a part of it. Sometimes on a few years, I was a part of it during the COVID year when they had to do it. Kind of
remotely, and
we did it inside the Springfield Center.
Okay.
Also only a certain amount of, like a couple players were able to represent. They didn't do it all up there on the square. So that was a lot of fun. But Jordan and her team do a great job putting that together for the first. But you're right, you get those guys up there, and what's crazy is that Springfield, Greenbrier, Heritage, East Robertson, and Joe Burns, we don't always compete against this. Well, hardly any of us are in the same district anymore. I'm trying to think. Heritage and Greenbrier might be in some of the sports, and East Robertson, like I said, East Robertson, Joe Burns is in basketball, but we're not in, and we're in the same classification. So, but that doesn't matter. I mean, I think that East Robinson gets up to play Greenbrier as well, and Greenbrier wants to beat East Robinson, and Greenbrier wants to beat Heritage, and Heritage wants to beat East, and it goes in a full circle. This year, in football, like East doesn't play Springfield, and this year in basketball we don't play Springfield. Sometimes, as far as those classifications go, it's because of school size, and football is a little different because you won't see us play Greenbrier and Springfield. Schools are just a little bit too big, and just have a lot more players to pull from, and so. But it's awesome to see those rivalries in baseball, softball, basketball, and things like that.
It's a lot of fun, but I can't say enough about getting out and getting involved in this stuff. It's been such a pleasure. Everything that I have been able to make my way to and be a part of, it's been exciting. It's been fun, and so there's a lot of things going on. You still got a chance to see some wrestling tonight at Greenbrier, and then you've got our homecoming tomorrow night. And then next, as Jamie was saying, you've got the big rivalry between Joe Burns and East Robertson tomorrow night for the district championship for basketball. So there you go. There's a lot of stuff happening around town. If you have anything that we're missing, just go ahead and throw it up in comments. And if you're somebody from one of the other schools and I want to talk about my school, well, absolutely reach out to myself or Jamie, and I'll put you in touch with him. And he's in charge of this Thursday morning, 7 to 7:30, because we want to touch Robertson County sports, and we love to do more and more.
Yep.
Can't say enough about it.
They can find me on Facebook under Jamie Nixon, under Nixon Pro.
Absolutely.
They can also, if they can't remember that, just remember nixonpro.com. You can go there and leave me a message. You can go send me an email from my website talking about, just saying, hey, I'm able to come in and help on a Thursday. And I know you always let me plug my company, Nixon Pro
Absolutely.
Media. We are a marketing agency. We specialize in social media and digital marketing, which would be websites and things like that. So if you're a small business out there, also small businesses, if you wanted to in your community, get with your schools, because advertising through Facebook, through their Twitter and things like that is a great way to get noticed. And it's a great way the biggest thing is people understanding that that you're there supporting those student athletes. I do all the broadcasts out at East Robertson, and that's one of the things during the games. I'll stop and I'll flash up the graphic, or we might actually have a real commercial that is on a video and played. And our game sponsors have actually come back and said, hey, we get a lot of feedback from, saying, hey, I saw you on the game, I saw you advertised here, and so we have, it's great for real estate agents. It's great for HVAC companies. It's great for insurance agents. I mean, you name it. I know there's somebody out there that can benefit to having more exposure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And as I'm listening to you talking about popping up an ad here and doing this, as we're getting ready to do the things we're going to do at Audio Video at Greenbrier, I haven't talked to the kids about trying to get sponsors and things like that, but just the way you facilitate that and the technology that he has used to facilitate that. If you like what he does, he can teach you to do it for your school. And I heard you talk, I don't know who it was you were telling about it. Maybe it was the guys over at Greenbrier when they were in.
Jim
and
Soros,
you were just talking about the things that you use to facilitate that. And so pick his brain. Go from what he has learned to get this done. If this is something you really want to do, come and talk to him. And he can point you in the right direction, get you on the right track to building this for your own school.
And another person to talk to is Terrence Summers with Social Dweeb Sports.
Right.
It was quite funny.
And that's Springfield.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Me and Terrence both shut up. East Robertson was in the middle school county championships.
Right. That's a big one down at Coopertown you were telling me about, right?
Yes, ma'am. So East Robertson girls won. East Robertson boys lost to Joe Burns. Kudos to Joe Burns. Joe Burns has already went on to win their first game in the Area 10, because now there's like a middle school state championship game.
Oh, wow.
They play it by areas. And middle school now has been divided into AA and AAA. East Robertson girls will play Saturday at East Nashville High School, but they'll play the middle school. That's where their first game is.
Okay.
So that's where they'll play. Deal. But yeah, Terrence, excuse me a second. I walk in and Terrence is setting up his stuff, and we get in there, and then I use just regular Wi-Fi. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I use Wi-Fi, just regular Wi-Fi, and I broadcast to Facebook. Well, inside the schools, some people ask me, well, why don't you use the school's Wi-Fi? And then I tell them that, well, because the Wi-Fi inside the schools, it doesn't allow you to get on Facebook and things
Right.
like that.
There's blocks and there's walls and things like that.
So I get there and it's not working, as well as I want it to. And then Terrence is, I said, Terrence, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm on the schools, but I broadcast to YouTube. So I'm sitting there and I'm looking at Terrence and his guys and me and my guys, and I'm like, I'm just going to share Terrence's broadcast. It's like, it's just like, number one, my stuff's not quite working 100%, not as good as I want it to be. So I could either try to get it done and it not be as good as I want it, or I could say, hey, here's a guy from Springfield that covers Springfield sports. Introduce him to my audience.
Yeah.
So that people understand, hey, if East Robinson's not playing somewhere and Springfield's playing somewhere, and the fact that Terrence was out there as a Robertson County resident, as somebody who grew up in Robertson County, Springfield wasn't even in the championship games, and he was out there making sure that people got to see the Robertson County Middle School Championships. So I was like, kudos to Terrence. Big shout out to Social Dweeb Sports. You guys make sure you follow that on Facebook. But I shared his YouTubes and or his YouTube broadcast, and people got to watch.
Okay, so because I think that's great. Here you were having tech problems and you introduced them to them and all the things that they've got going on. And I just have so many questions about how y'all facilitate that. How many cameras do you have? What kind of cameras are you using? All those kinds of things. Can you kind of quickly answer that?
Well,
I know you've got to get going.
Terrence's setup is a little bit different than mine. My thing is that I use Switcher Studio.
Okay,
and through Switcher Studio, you're able to use iPhones, and I can connect up to 5 iPhones.
Okay.
And when the Wi-Fi is really good, the cameras on the Wi-Fi work great.
Oh, you can't beat it. They're fabulous.
And I sit there on my iPad, and I can go back and forth between all the cameras. And then I can also pull up videos. I can put up lower third graphics. I can do all that.
Okay, very cool. What does he use? Do you know? Is he using the same kind of thing, or has he got cameras?
He has a regular camera, and I think he uses 1, maybe 2, and he has a different program. So
okay.
I just don't think you'd ever see Channel 5 go, hey, we don't have the game, so y'all can go to Channel 4 and watch it.
Yeah, no, you're right. Absolutely. And there's usually, I think that just speaks so well to this county, the fact that you have those kinds of relationships and you're going, hey, look at what he's doing.
Yeah.
And some people wouldn't do that. They're like, oh, this is mine. And go ahead.
Well, it's not about us.
Amen. It's about the kids.
About the kids.
You bet.
It's
Absolutely.
about the student athletes. And I want to make sure that we say student athletes. When I was in school, late 80s or early 90s, we were student athletes, but it was athlete-student first. You have a lot of student athletes that are making phenomenal grades.
Yes.
Because the academic side of it is, there aren't those days where it's like, okay, well, Johnny can't pass. We're going to give him grades so he can go to college and play football.
Yep.
Now, in your position, football, basketball, whatever, if you aren't making the grades and there's another kid that his stats are going to look just like yours, except for one, that GPA or that ACT score, that college coach is going to take that kid. I know I need to run, so let me run down a few things.
Sure.
I'll do some rapid fire. Elijah Groves, East Robinson's basketball standout, has received a offer from UT Martin, as well as Sean Groves Sr. has also went to Martin, and I believe his offer for Martin will be coming soon. So Elijah's a junior, Sean's a senior, both of them looking at possibly a career at UT Martin. Devin Crenshaw, quarterback from Springfield, has committed to Bethel, so he will be down there with Mike Jaspers, the head coach who played at Mount Juliet, that went on to play for New England Patriots. So he had taken over that program down there. Devin Crenshaw, quarterback for Springfield, committed. DJ Jackson at Greenbrier, committed to Lindsey Wilson. A couple years ago, Lindsey Wilson won the national championship in NAIA. My son was actually played there as quarterback, part of that national championship team. And then Taylor Head from Joe Burns commits to Trevecca. And Robertson County right now has 6 commitments in baseball. You have Ashton Alston, who's going to Alabama. And forgive me, I might not know where these kids go to high school right now, but I'm just going to throw their names out. Ashton Alston, he's going to Alabama in 2024. Means he graduates in 2024. Carter Waltz is going to Vol State. DJ Hardwick from Heritage, he's going to Jackson State. Lawson T is going to Lipscomb. Taylor Head's going to Trevecca, and Trent Miller is going to Ball State.
Awesome.
So we got a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids coming from this area, continuing their education and their sports career at the next level. And for all of you that are out there watching, whether you're a student athlete or you're a parent, let me tell you the reason why kids leave college when they go to play sports. Their goal is to get a scholarship, to get to college. When you hear kids talk about it, it's like, I want to go to college. I want to get a scholarship. I want to get an offer. That you never hear kids say, I want to go finish 4 years of college.
True.
So when you set your goal at getting there, you get there, there's a letdown. There's a mental letdown. Well, I've achieved this goal that I've tried to be achieving since I was in middle school to play college basketball.
Right.
Well, I played college basketball for 1 year. It wasn't to play 4 years of college basketball.
That's why you want to focus on the student athlete, because those are the ones that are going to go and they're going to stay, they're going to get the degree, and they're going to fulfill it.
100%.
Absolutely.
And I also tell you that, college isn't for everybody. I know you got to go to college and play a sport if you want to do that. But outside of that, there's tons of vocational jobs. And I know we talk about athletics, but I always want to focus on the students of Robertson County and the future of Robertson County. And that's who's going to be the next electricians, the plumbers, things like that. We're all gifted by God to do something. So it's really important that we as adults help these kids find their gifts.
Absolutely.
Or understand their gifts.
I love all that you do for young people. You are just the more I learn about you, the cooler you are.
Well, thank you.
And I appreciate you coming in and being a part of this
Thank
show.
you.
And I know you got to get to Hendersonville. Don't speed.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't you speed. He has an appointment in Hendersonville. We're going to let him go, and I'm going to go out with this. We've got, we're going to talk about our friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team, my friends in real estate. Do you want to buy or sell? Do you want to be a realtor? Do you want to talk to them about coming in and having somebody mentor you to help you in the real estate, the process of navigating those waters and becoming a realtor? Well, they've got a great team there to mentor you if that's what you want to do. Barry and Rebecca both came out of other careers. She was in radiology. Barry was vice president of a media marketing company for 17 years. So they get it. They get that sometimes you're like, man, I think I want to do that. And man, are they doing it. They are just so busy, but so interested in talking to you and having you come to the table and talk to them about whatever it is. If you need to get pre-qualified, you want to know how much home you can buy because the interest rates are gone up. You got a lot of questions. Well, they're there to answer them for you. Barry will market your property that you want to sell, make sure that it's seen, and people don't just go flying past it when they look at it. He's going to make sure that they see it and that you get the best offer you can on anything you're selling. Now, if you want to connect with them, sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsouncounty.com. They buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky, specializing in Robertson County because they live up in Cross Plains. They're one of us. They've been there for over 20 years. And so, again, reach out to them. You'll see them at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival, but that's not until May. You want to have a meeting with them now? Call them, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425. Always let them know you turned Cincha. Tiffany and Brian are in the house. When you're not here for a week, it's just like I feel like it's been forever.
I know.
Right?
Good morning.
Well, good morning. And we're still not really caught up from Christmas because, we're just, we've only had a couple of visits really since
That's
the
true.
holidays.
That's
So,
true.
I still feel like I'm just behind with y'all.
It's
But I
true.
enjoyed talking to Liz last week. It was kind of
Okay.
cool having a coworker in here, with Robertson County Schools and
Talk
all
shop.
that. Yeah, absolutely. So, what are y'all doing?
And they've got you indoctrinated into this, whatever that is on
Greenbrier.
your shirt.
The
So
Greenbrier
I can't help but see red a little bit when I see that. So it brings back some bad memories.
We have a pep rally today.
Oh,
At least I think the
shoot.
pep rally's today. I've got things so upside down in my head, but the game is tomorrow. Because I was thinking they were saying, okay, the pep rally's today. So if the pep rally's today, then I would think the game would be today. But no, the game's tomorrow night. I'm sure the game
Friday
is tomorrow
night. Yeah,
night.
Friday night.
So
Yeah.
but I'm thinking the pep
Who are they
rally's
playing?
today. I don't know.
You teach it there. You got to know these things.
I'm still learning to teach.
Yeah, I hear you.
I had better intentions of staying up to date on things, and then I had something, some of the things that go along with becoming a CTE teacher. You got to get these certifications, and they're like, well, you got to get this, and you got to get this job form signed. Basically, I've got to get something notarized from the Blaze. Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's difficult to do.
That's not gonna be
okay,
easy.
that's like Texas, and that's like Glenn Beck's network. And I mentioned to the person, and we're getting it done. I was able to get in touch with one of the producers down there, and so we're on the way. But I said something to her. I said, that's a very closed place. And so she thought I meant it was closed. Well, no, it's just a closed
Right. You don't have
atmosphere.
I
I don't have easy access anymore. I mean,
Right.
the only way you have easy access in a place like that is if you are there.
Right.
And so I'm like, how am I going to get that done? And so I was able to, so pray for me. Keith, please, get that notarized and send that back to me. So, but anyhow, all those things came up. And so all the planning I was doing had to get kind of, everybody just tells me I'm teaching, just survive the first year. Just survive the
It's
first
true.
year.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm going to get you to slide this way. I'm not seeing you on camera, bro.
Okay, well, I mean, we're featuring the best part of United
There you
right
go.
there,
Listen
not
at you.
myself.
But so I know this is a big week for Greenbrier, and y'all cut me some slack. I know I'm just trying to learn every day.
For most jobs, the first year is a huge, especially like if you're like a career change
Right.
and you're doing something new. It's a huge adjustment, and we're probably harder on ourselves than everybody else. And everybody else is saying, hey, they're learning, and we're like, we want to get it yesterday.
Yeah.
I started this gig, like the first year was really tough. I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, I really did the terminology, like all this stuff, and
All the acronyms.
teaching. And it's just a
my
lot of stuff to
goodness.
learn. And so give yourself a little grace, a little
Thank you.
mercy, and you're getting through it. And you're
Yeah.
also doing a very difficult job teaching, as we know is not easy, and it takes a special person to be able to do that.
Thank
so,
you.
I have
yeah.
a big chunk of my seminary kids go to Greenbrier, so they've been coming in with fun outfits this week.
Yeah, because they're all dressing up, and some of the teachers are dressing up. And I saw it was so funny. Mr. Staggs, who is one of our principals, he's one of our vice principals, and was the principal at Springfield, and so he's at Greenbrier. And so he was in the hall in a hoodie yesterday, and had his hood up. And I guess Miss Phillips, one of our FFA, or one of our ag teachers, she's like, get that hood off your head. And he was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna put it up as soon as you walk away. And they were doing this whole kid.
Is there a no hood thing?
Yes,
in the
and they
school?
were dressing. It was teachers dressed like
That's what I
students,
was gonna
students
ask. I'm
dressed like
they walked
teachers.
in like professional clothes yesterday. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah,
And they're like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like a teacher. So that's awesome that the teachers dress like the students.
Well, it's so funny. Yesterday, Bruno, one of my students, Bruno, comes walking in. I mean, he's looking sharp. I'm like, wow. I said, you look great. You're so dressed up. I said, what's the occasion? He goes, I'm dressed like a teacher. Like this video, are you not paying attention? He just
Right.
looks so disgusted. He goes, I'm dressed like a teacher.
See?
I'm like, oh, that's right. And then, I'll get it. Give me a minute, y'all. Give me a minute. I'm trying.
I'm surprised they own anything other than sweatpants.
Well, yeah, true.
Hoodies and sweatpants. That's all I
Yeah.
ever see, and Crocs.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if I had
All about the
remembered
creatures.
yesterday was dressed like a student, I'd have been all
Yeah.
about one of my
Oh,
hoodies.
yeah. Oh,
I'd have
yeah.
been all about it. And
I mean, they dress in
forgot.
comfort. I give it up to that generation.
yeah.
Good for y'all. But I don't understand the hoodies in the summer, though. I've noticed like it's
know.
100
Oh, I
degrees
know
outside, and they
that.
still got. No, I'm not. Yeah, it's hot. Yeah. Well, it's different. You're not a teenager. Usually they run pretty. They're boiling hot at that age. But
Well, I go into air conditioning or anything like
I
that.
got
I gotta
you.
have a hood
Yeah,
or something. Now, I will take it off and tie it around my waist in the heat. But yeah, I
keep
get it. Yeah.
So you're like a
Yeah,
teenager,
yeah.
basically.
Oh,
I mean, it's-
I fit in. It's fun. What's so funny, and we'll have to get to business. We just like to talk. So Muriel Barnett, who is retiring, 80 days. She's retiring. Congratulations. Well, I guess it's 80 or 79 now. I don't know. We're counting down, and so she's my sister and not in Jesus, and so just dear friend. And so we're talking, and I always say I'm going to get a T-shirt that says, WWMD, what would Muriel do? Because she's my teacher advisor when I have great mentors, but she also helps me a lot. So last night I'm leaving church, and I haven't done these study guides because we're having tests on Friday, and we've been studying, we've been going over the material, and I'm thinking I got to get a study guide done, and that's what I was working on yesterday when this whole thing with my CTE thing imploded, and I had to start finding people at the Blaze, and I didn't get it done. I told her, I said, I'm gonna have to go home. I got work to do. I'm gonna probably be up for a couple hours, and then on the way home, I thought they can take notes. I don't have to write their study guide. And I called her. I said, you're going to be so proud of me.
Yeah.
They can take notes. She says, well, of course they can take notes. And I was like, I don't have to write a study guide. It's good if you can. And I've got PowerPoints I can give them where stuff we've gone over, but they can take notes today. So young people, you're taking notes.
That was a light
today.
bulb moment for you.
Yeah.
Yes, that's one of those learning, your first year learning things.
I don't have to stay
do
up
that for
until
you.
11 o'clock writing your study guide. You can take notes today. And you know what? You'll probably get it better if you do.
Absolutely.
There you go. There you go.
There's actually
Ding, ding,
a lot
ding.
of
What would
science
Muriel
behind it.
do?
There you go.
What would
There you
Muriel
go.
do?
Learning. You're learning.
I'm learning.
Year 3, year 4, you'll be just like old hat.
I'll be kicking it.
That's
By
right.
then, I'll be doing hopefully all audio, video production. It'll be production all day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm real excited for what we're going to have there and what we're trying to do. We're trying to get something done right now for Black History Month, and we only have just that one little place that we can work on it during the day, and the rest of the time I'm teaching these other classes. So we're not going to be completely ready to roll it out on
February 1st.
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday next week. But I'm hoping I'll have a little piece of it out.
Yeah.
And we're going to have these posters. If everything works, where there'll be an image of somebody from history, and it'll have their name, and it'll have it like, okay, Frederick Douglass. Black History Month honoring Frederick Douglass, his image. And then there'll be a QR code where you go, and there will be a student telling you the story of Frederick Douglass, like on the news kind of thing, right? So we're building all these. I'd like to have about 20 of them out because there's so many interesting characters, but we've got about 5 that we can just about take and get printed right now, and so we're trying to roll all that out. But with me doing all these other classes, there's just such a little window to do all this stuff. And so, it's just hard to get anything done. So I'm excited for the time when I can just work on production all day with these students in and out. So it's going to be exciting.
Hands-on.
And we're building a studio. We're going to have a TV looking studio, and I mean it's going to be a TV studio, two camera shoot, and 3 mics going, and I'm excited. It's gonna
That's
be
awesome.
fun.
That's awesome.
We'll see.
How much money y'all got out there at Greenbrier? You building studios?
It's a grant program. It's a
got
grant
you. I
program
got
through
you.
CTE,
Yeah.
and I think that I feel like from what the conversations I've had with everybody, they'd love to have these in every school.
Yeah, those are
And,
great.
so we're the prototype. What do you call it when you're the first thing?
Prototype sounded good.
Prototype.
Yeah, that's not the word, but I know where you're
The
going.
inaugural.
The inaugural one, but there's another one too.
Yep, I know.
It's like
There's
you're the
another
the
word.
test case.
Pioneer.
yeah.
I'm thinking
You know
all
what I
this.
mean?
Yes.
There's a word that'll be going.
Somebody
ding, 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 ding.
somebody in the comments tell us what we're
There is
missing.
somebody listening right now that's shouting at us.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
there's a
here.
word, and I think it does start with P too. Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It'll come to us.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Brian Pulley, Tiffany Thomson.
Hey, good morning.
And they're here to talk to us about all things United Way. And we had conversations about, I'm pointing the kids to the United Way for their volunteer opportunities that they
Yes.
need. So I'm sure, they will call you eventually about that. Trying to get
I'm getting
their
calls
stuff.
every day. I got one the other day. I need 25 hours before April. I'm like, all right, let's
There
see
you
if we can
go.
find a new place to plug in. So
That's great.
yeah, I'm getting a lot from the kids. So that is to all the adults out there listening. If you have a place for the kids to plug in, I'm really trying hard to match them up with places that they already have interest or passion, because I feel like number one, they're going to learn the most, they're going to grow the most through that. So yeah, if you have a place for them to plug in, please reach out to me. It has to be, you can't like mow a lawn for your neighbor. Like it has to be through an organization. But so we got some stuff in the works for that, and we might be doing a day of service that is like to pull some of the kids together, and
That's a great idea.
so that we can.
And they have to go
Knock it
to
out.
different places. I was talking to one of my students, and I think she said she had to be 7 different places, maybe. I
Wow.
don't know. But these are people that are in Honor Society, Beta Club.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
All of
like,
these things.
Like you don't for the
Tennessee
Tennessee Promise.
You just have the hours.
8 hours per semester, so it's really kind of a small lift. But when you start adding on Beta Club, National Honor
Yeah.
Society, and stuff, then it becomes a much bigger project. So yeah, we got some stuff in the works on that. Trying to. So if you're out there and you know of things that need to be done that teenagers come up, that's the other problem we face. A lot of them are like, oh no, they have to be 18 or they have to be 21 to volunteer here. Then let me know. Please reach out to me. I'm connecting volunteers and needs. So
Outstanding. And I'm going to take another break because we were pushing the brakes off because Jamie was going to leave early and then he didn't. And, and so he's flying to Hendersonville right now. But we neglected to get all the ads in. So I've got to do one now and then one right toward the end. And we're going to do Cumberland Connect at some point. But I'm going to right now just touch on Corbin Creek, though. And we'll just say, I've been talking about you. I really should pay you.
You should.
I really should pay you.
I do it for the love, and if it helps other people, then that's all the payment I need.
Because this is right now, whenever we have the milder temperatures, is when you get your garden ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I love what you said about how you did your garden with the help of Corbin. That's
did.
where all your bedding plants came from.
It did. The first time we've used them exclusively, we've
Right.
done like a little mix and match or get stuff at Lowe's or wherever, the big stores like you're at, just because it's convenient. But we did everything through them last year, and by far, and it was not anything we did, because I don't have a green thumb like that. I mean, I know the water, and that's about it. Was the best year we had as far as the crops that were yielding, tomatoes and peppers and zucchinis and everything that we wanted. And the tomatoes, the taste, the quality and quantity was the best we ever had.
They're just awesome.
Yep.
And now's the time to go out and ask your questions. They're in winter hours right now, so they're not as busy, but you can go out and talk to them. They're open Monday through Saturday. Monday through Saturday, they're open from 10 to 4. Sunday, they're open from 1 to 4. You can talk to them about all the things that go with the garden, getting your garden ready. If you're going to plant cold weather vegetables, lettuces, things like that, you got to plant that stuff in February. Get your garden ready when we have a milder day. Start turning the soil over and get it ready. And also, to talk to them about CBD products. It's just awesome. All the salves, and we'll get into that when it gets closer with Brian and his fun fire ant story. We don't have time now.
Still traumatized.
But-
You're bringing bad memories. Between the Greenbrier shirt and this, I'm going to need a breath when I get out of here.
There you go. But Corbin Creek, that's the place to go if you have any questions about anything we've been talking about. You can call them at 615-384-3185. 615-384-3185. They're at 4920 Highway 161 when you go by and talk to Miss Amy. Let her know you turned Cincha. Okay, where do we want to go next?
Okay, well, I got a million things to talk about. But okay, so I know you had Lewis on last week, so I just wanted to put another plug in for VITA. Last year, we had almost 100 people participate in VITA, use VITA for their tax returns, getting almost $200,000 back into the community here in Robertson County. And so we had quite a bit of. If your income is less than $75,000 per household, you qualify to go get your taxes done for free. Don't pay a bunch of people to do it. If that's going to pull, especially for people who are their average gross income, I think is like $28,000. So, if that's what you're making, then paying somebody more money to get your taxes back is probably not in the budget. So use this service. We'd love to help you out. It's on Saturdays. And if you want more information, you can contact me. Or we're going to be starting to blast up. I just got digital stuff yesterday to start posting everywhere. So just watch our socials and those will be there. So anyway, there's the plug for VITA. I'm going to do a plug for Laundry Love. We had Laundry Love last week. It's always the third Thursday we're not here. And that's, plugging for Laundry Love. Right. We had a record breaking month. We did over 1,000 loads of laundry.
Wow.
And so thank goodness to the volunteers we did have, but it wasn't a very big month, and so we depleted more funds than we normally do. So if you're looking to volunteer, we are funded through the middle of the year, depending on the loads, but we're only funded through the middle of the year. So we're still needing funds to be able to have enough money for the whole entire year, and we need volunteers. Luckily, we had some homeschool kids that have a little bit more energy. Not my homeschool kids; they were homesteading, but I was like, if I have to pull them, I will. I'll make them come. But so they had a little more energy. But most of the people that come are older women, and so it gets really hard. And when you're doing 1,000 loads of laundry,
I can't even imagine. Oh my!
Went home that night and about died, and my body was so shot. So, anyway, we need all the help we can get. So there's my plug for Laundry Love. I'm gonna plug CASA. They have their volunteer class is coming up February 28th. And so that's the new class to learn to become an advocate for CASA. And so if you don't know much about CASA, it is advocates that help walk children through their experience in foster care. And so they make sure those kids don't fall through the cracks. And I've got some heartbreaking stories from when I worked in as a caseworker of kids that because caseworkers, it's a very taxing job. The longevity of a caseworker is about a year and a half. It's like their lifespan. And so kids are usually in custody for longer than that, and they fall through the cracks. And so CASAs make sure they don't fall through the cracks. They walk with them through the valley of this trial. And so if you want to learn more about that, you can contact me again, or you can email CASA at casaofrobertsoncounty@gmail.com. Again, that's casaofrobertsoncounty@gmail.com, and learn more about becoming a CASA.
Absolutely. And we talked about CASA earlier this week. We were talking about the foster care program and those kinds of things, and the need for that. And I think there was some money that was coming into the county, and Mayor Vogel was talking about the different ways to use it and wanting to pour it back into some kids, and CASA came up because it's an amazing program. If you don't know what they do, it's just wonderful. And so you need to reach out, and you can do it. It's how much of a time commitment is it?
So the biggest time commitment is actually the training. So to learn how to become an advocate through the court system, there is quite a bit of training, and that's 30 hours, but they spread it out over 10 weeks. And so it's 3 hours a week. Tuesday nights, they meet at the Senior Citizen Center, but you get all your training. And then it's really about 10 hours a month after that, depending on your case. It's going to be a little bit different, but probably not more than 10 hours a month. I know, I have months that I work 10 hours on, because I'm an advocate. I work 10 hours, and some months I answer a few texts, so it just really kind of depends on what's going on in the case. We're at a place right now where we're waiting for some test results to come back, and the kids are stable and doing really good. And so I'm not needed as much, but I'm still there to monitor, make sure they don't fall through the cracks, and just build a relationship with those kids where they know somebody loves them, somebody cares about them.
Are you with a sibling group?
I am. I've got two little girls, and so.
How long have you had them?
I've had them for a year. They've been in custody for a year. And so I've been with them that whole time.
See, and that's the thing that people don't realize is while things can change with the people that are working with them, from the social workers, all of those things, the CASA does not.
They've had 4 social workers in this past year. So,
seriously, 4, but they've had you.
They've had me.
That's
and so
wonderful.
Anytime that case changes hands, they can come back to me and be like, what's going on? Tell me the background. What's the story? And I have a lot more information because they're so overworked, not everything gets recorded. And sometimes those caseworkers just walk away, and so sometimes it happens and information gets lost, and that's the sad part about it. But the broken child welfare system is another topic, but these are the people who are stepping in that gap, and being that filler. And
I love it. Very good.
Yeah.
Love CASA. I just love what they do. And one of these days I'm going to make it to the Boo Bash Dash. It's always something conflicting with my kids in baseball. Or not baseball, but it was, I don't know. We had sports. Yeah, we had fall baseball. We had fall baseball that conflicted with it last past year.
Well, and they've got some more fundraisers coming up. I probably shouldn't tell. I'll let Leah come on and tell. But I think they're gonna do like a lip sync contest and stuff, and so to do some more fundraisers. And so I'm excited about what they have coming down the pike.
Well,
and so
I got to reach out to Leah, especially with the training coming up. Maybe I'll see if she can come on even next week. I'll reach out to her.
I'm sure she'll.
I think I got a slot. So very good.
If Kendall hasn't been on, you probably want her on too. She's awesome. So
I can't remember, but I've slept since then. You know how that goes. So do we have a business of the? I mean, a hero of the week?
We do. I was thinking about it, and I asked my daughter. And sometimes she's very helpful. This morning she was not. She told me to. I got to share it. She said, whoever invented chapstick should be your hero of the week, because my lips are just with the weather outside. It's funny. So I got a good chuckle out of that this morning. That is very important. And so we had a long discussion about chapstick and probably what they were trying to invent and everything else. So that was funny. But in all seriousness, our hero of the week this week, and we are on Christian radio station, so I can share this. Our pastor at Coopertown Church of Christ, Jeff Smith, and his wife Amber, is his last Sunday with us this Sunday. They are transitioning. They're going to be starting their ministry up in Alaska, which is where he's from, and doing some amazing things up there as far as trying to spread the good word up there. And there's a lot of remote places where they're just not equipped. The churches are not equipped up there to really lead the way they need to lead. And some of these places you got to take, you can only get there by boat. I mean,
I'm jealous.
Literally.
Yeah, that would be so cool.
But we're certainly going to miss them. They've been such an asset to our community while they've been here, and his beautiful 2 little girls, Rosemary and Patsy, and their whole family's been, and his wife. has just been integral in our community, and volunteers with Tennessee Kids Nutrition and our first house, and just really involved, and we're going to miss them a lot. And so just a big shout out to their family, and be praying for them as they take this next journey. We're certainly going to miss them, but we know they're going to do some great things.
Absolutely.
And just really, they've been a blessing personally to us, but then they've been a blessing to all of us. So, but I know they'll be really bringing some good stuff to Alaska.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
I like that. Hero of the week. God bless. Godspeed, and preach the word, man.
That's right.
Awesome.
Bring it to them. So he
That's
know he
awesome.
will. Yep.
Very cool. Very
Yep.
cool hero of the week. We're talking with Brian Pulley, Tiffany Thomson, and we're talking about all things that are United Way related. And I want to mention 211. If you are not familiar with 211,
that was the other thing on my
we're on the same page.
I know we are.
And so I was sending my kids, I was telling them about 211 the other day. I mention it all the time because I said United Way is the bridge builder to the nonprofits. I was talking to them. I said, I will talk to Tiffany about how you can connect with them. I said, but you might call 211 and just say what's going on, where could I maybe plug in? All the things that we need in the communities. They mine that data that they get at 211. What are people calling about, right?
Absolutely.
Did I tease it
That's
for
exactly.
you?
Yes.
Did I toss it to you?
Pretty much. You just
Volleyed it.
talked about everything I was going to talk about. I wanted to make sure everybody knew about that resource. 211. You can call. I mean, I get a lot of phone calls that are like, I don't know where to go for lights, or I need food, or all that stuff. If you call 211, they can also connect you, and that's actually a nationwide program. And so no matter where you're living, and all the time I see people I just moved to Memphis and I don't know where to get food. I'm like, call 211, call 211, call 211, because they'll help connect you. And oftentimes they know resources that are just a little outside of the county, that I might not be aware of because I focus right on Robertson County. And so that they have a much bigger database and can help send you to Nashville if you need to. One of the benefits of 211 is it does keep track of what our needs are. In fact, Brian and I were just looking at the website yesterday where we can pull up as United Way employees what people are calling in on. And one of the things that I was like, oh, our top call from Robertson County is housing and shelter.
Oh, wow.
Like blown out of the water. Every other thing that people call about. And I don't know if there's a lot of things that I'm not sure people know that we're trying to keep track of this data. Because one of them was childcare. I really think that if people knew you could call 211 to try to find childcare, that number would be a lot higher, because I know that's one of the things that we're struggling with right now. But 30% of the phone calls we get to 211 in Robertson County are about housing and shelter. And the next highest one was 16%. So that's a big. So it's really important, to even just call in and let them know what your problems are, even if they can't solve them. Call them and then call me if they can't help you out. But because it helps us keep track so that we can go to government officials and be like, hey, this is what's going on. We really need to solve this social problem for Robertson County. So anyway, and most people need wraparound services, and 211 can do that. So you don't just need food and everything else is fine, or, usually you need a lot of different services. And that's kind of why United Way. A lot of people are like, well, why do we need a middleman to the nonprofits? Well, what we help do is wrap those services around people, because you don't usually just need one thing. And so at Christmas time, I actually had my counterpart in Williamson County call me, and she's like, there's a family in your community that was in a car accident and the dad's been disabled, and you need to help them out. And I was like, well, what do I need to do? Because she's got a lot more experience than I do. And so this family for Christmas, we hung their Christmas lights. That's not a United Way program, but we made sure that they had food and they had access to, he needed a wheelchair, and a ramp was being built. And we just kind of made sure that all the things that this family needed, we made sure that they hadn't signed up for any Christmas programs for their kids, because they were so involved in dad's rehabilitation that everything else kind of fell through the cracks, even though they had grandma came and was doing a great job taking care of them. And so we reached out to the school district and had them put them on a Christmas list, and and so all these services that we could wrap around, because we're the uniting factor, trying to help pull everybody together. And so that's why it's really important to kind of use 211 just so that we can help wrap services around people.
I love it. I love it. It's a United Way, uniting and the bridge builder to the nonprofits, and they do such a beautiful job. I'm so thankful that they're part of the show, and we love talking to y'all. Do y'all have anything else before we jump into the last ad? Because it's going to take a minute.
I know. It's going to be about Cumberland Connect.
Of course.
I got something to tag in on the back when you do
Okay.
Cumberland. That's for Cumberland Electric. So
For Cumberland Electric,
Yes.
about they're so good, right?
yeah, right. Well, we just had
You
some.
can start with that. Why don't
This
you go ahead
week.
and
So
start with that?
Susie Yonkers, I'll say again, she is their community impact and community relations person there. Contacted me again this week, and they're working with TVA on another grant that we are possibly going to be eligible for this community that
wow.
serves right here in Robertson County. We've received it before, and she is just one of the most community-minded individuals I've ever worked with as far as on the corporate side.
Mm-hmm.
She's always thinking about ways she can help and ways that they can utilize their relationships to impact Robertson County in a positive way and all the counties she serves. So just a great partner to have. Not only they run a campaign with us, but there's all these other little offshoots that they're constantly looking to support and try to improve the community where we live and work. So
I'm
just a
so-
big fan of them. Yeah.
I'm so thrilled that they're
Yeah.
part of this program too,
Yeah.
and I just can't say enough about them. And if you're a Cumberland Electric customer, you're going to have access to high-speed internet through Cumberland Connect. And do you know what this means?
means you're in.
I mean, I'm in.
Did you get a pizza cutter?
Huh? I didn't get a pizza cutter.
Oh,
Did you
I
get a
got
pizza
one of
cutter?
those.
That's the
Good morning,
best
Robertson
pizza. It
County.
says it's the world's greatest pizza cutter on the back, and it literally is the world's best
And
pizza
it's from,
cutter.
from Cumberland Connect?
Yes.
Oh, I'm going to have to call them. I need my pizza cutter.
Yeah.
This is
if
like
not,
opening jars.
I may or may not have snagged an extra. I may be able to hook. I may be able to hook you.
Yeah.
I may be able to hook you. up.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I was
but-
tempted.
I did.
Good morning,
Yeah.
Robertson County. I want to be like, oh, I'm going to put
Yeah.
a few of these in.
No, that's awesome. Okay, I haven't checked those out, but they showed up on Martin Luther King Jr. Day to put the lines on the house because it's been on the utility pole for a while, and everybody's been telling me, you, Dr. Causey, everybody, the process, Gwen Harder, they put it on the house, and then they had to make an appointment to come inside the house, and so the guy who pulled in to put it on the house just happened to catch us at home because we were off that day. I went out and hugged his neck, and he says, well, you just get an appointment after I'm done. And so the minute he was not out of the driveway, and I calling him, I'm like, it's on my house. And they're like, we don't have the paperwork yet, Ms. Vivio. And so they called me as soon as the paperwork got turned in, and they were there Wednesday. So yeah, I got a gig. My kids go, Mother, you do not need a gig. I'm like, but I can have it, and I've got it.
You're flying. You're flying.
AT&T's already got their stuff back. I've already
Yeah.
gotten credit. They've already said, hey, we got your stuff. So they did a great job at the UPS store taking all that stuff in for me and getting it back to them. I've already turned off Dish Network. Not sure I'm real crazy about YouTube TV, though. There's too many commercials.
Yeah,
know?
their prices keep going up. So
Yeah.
that's what people think. Well, I'm
I'm gonna
streaming, I'm
check,
saving money.
yeah.
I don't know. I heard a rumor too. Dish and Direct are going to merge
Okay.
due to all the people cutting the cord, and so you may be able to get a good deal when all that goes
Well,
through.
I don't know what I want to do at this
Yeah.
point. I'm in a test right now with YouTube, and one thing too, I use a thing called VidAngel where I filter my television, and if I can't filter you through VidAngel and I can't YouTube TV, because there's some things I want to watch and they just get a little offensive, and of course I probably should just turn them all off, but. You know, it's hard. Everything's got something in it, but I like to filter through VidAngel. So I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to be a YouTube TV customer.
Yeah.
I really like VidAngel with a streaming service.
I do too.
I've never
that
heard of
is-
this.
Oh,
So it
man.
filters
VidAngel,
out, like,
yes.
some stuff.
You used to be able to go on and stream it. So
Yeah.
actually you would have to buy the video, but then return it and you would get a credit. So it ended up being $1 to watch any movie you wanted, and you could I don't want these words said, I don't want any skin shown, I don't want and you could just say there was a menu and then you see that version of the movie.
Yep.
They got
Yes.
sued by Disney, but it was so amazing. I love their service. Plus, it was only $1. It was awesome.
I do, and I think these entertainment people, and we're kind of, oh man, it's 801 dog.
I got a good rant too. Remind me, I've got a rant about this, so I've got something I'll share next time.
All right,
Yes.
you got a rant
So I'm watching NFL football games at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a Sunday after church
Right.
with my family. Should be pretty safe. Network
Right.
television. Some of the stuff that they put on, the commercial, like the movie trailers, got people's heads getting chopped. I'm like, my kids are in the room.
Oh, I know.
Can I
Yeah.
not just watch a ball game?
Thank you.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah,
I got a full ride. You don't get me riled
We'll talk
up
about that.
Commercials now.
That's what I'm talking about.
I was
It's-
watching a documentary and there was an adult store commercial on.
Are you kidding?
And I was like,
Okay, so here, if you've got any insight into this, help us out with it. But the thing that we can tell you that is awesome, Cumberland Connect is Awesome. And we got to real quickly too, and I know you, I'm trying to wrap up. The Affordable Connectivity Program is a provider of qualifying households with a monthly credit to help you pay for internet services. And if you're eligible, you can receive a credit of up to $30 per month toward broadband service. So if you're somebody within, you have Cumberland Electric, but you're like, I can't afford internet. Yeah, you can. Get on there and talk to them. You can call them at 1-800-987-2362, 1-800-987-2362, or go to cumberlandconnect.org. Tell them that everybody sent you, everybody, that Tiffany and Brian and U-Turn sent you. And thank you for being a part of what we have here one street over. Any parting thoughts as we head out?
Have a great week. Stay warm.
Have a great week. And if you're not a Cumberland Connect customer, contact me, because actually I'm learning about all the programs that are for people to get internet. So yeah, contact me if you are struggling with being able to pay for internet.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us. This is One Street Over. Dr. David Evans is in tomorrow. It's been a minute. He's finally coming on with me. He's just back from Israel. Oh, that's going to be fun. On 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a great day.
Under these circumstances, they can hardly cope.